Fox News contributor Deneen Borelli and radio talk show host Richard Fowler. Thanks for joining us both.
Good morning.
Richard, I want to go to you first. There's really no other way to read this. Democrats are saying, vote for Republicans and you're voting for race-based murder. That's totally inflammatory and wrong, is it not?
Well, I'm not sure the ad really says that, Tucker. I think what the ad is saying is that we've got to vote to make sure that we can preserve communities. We've got to vote to make sure we can have a conversation about how we make sure Ferguson doesn't happen again. I think that is what the ad is trying to say there. It doesn't ever mention the word Republican, not even once.
Can I just make the point that Ferguson is a suburb of St. Louis, which has been controlled by Democrats for generations? What does this have to do with politics? I don't get it.
Ferguson has had a national impact. I think we could all agree there, Tucker. And because it has had a national impact, I think what Democrats are doing is they're saying, well, listen, we need to have a conversation about Ferguson. One party does, one party doesn't, and that's how we're going to fix the situation.
So, Deneen, this is just a way to scare black voters into voting for Michelle Nunn, no?
Yeah, these ads are reprehensible, Tucker. And listen, when you look at the fact that it was recently reported in the news that a former pollster has said that if black voters don't get out, that is going to be devastating for the Democratic politicians. And so this is really a scare tactic to move black voters to go out to the polls and vote. And this is coming from the White House on down. You've seen Michelle Obama going out with phrases such as us versus them, that mentality. You got Al Sharpton, of all people, going down to Ferguson soon. And with these flyers coming out from this Georgia Democrat Party, it's absolutely outrageous that they're exploiting this situation.
So Michelle Nunn, running for the daughter, of course, of the famous Democratic senator from Georgia, has run as a moderate. She was asked to explain what Ferguson has to do with her Senate race, and here's what she said. Watch.
I think that we need to use Ferguson as a platform to have a conversation with our communities around what kind of society do we want, how do we ensure equal justice and equal treatment under the law, and then I think we need to encourage everybody to participate in our democracy.
So, Mr. Fowler, we need to use Ferguson. Just to restate, there is no evidence of any kind that the shooting in Ferguson had anything to do with race or politics, but she wants to use it in order to get elected to a Senate seat. That's not wrong.
Well, listen, Tucker, I think that the mood of the country says that there is some racial undertones to Ferguson. I mean, we have to, that, whether we like it or not.
What does that mean, the mood of the country? It's a factual case that either did or didn't have anything to do with race.
Well, there's no case yet, one. And two, the fact that there were protests, there was unrest, and we finally starting to have a real conversation about race in this country. That's what Michelle Nunn is sort of adding upon. And let's be very clear. I mean, I think we can all agree that our justice system isn't just to everybody that walks into it. And I think that's the argument that Democrats are trying to have, and sadly, Republicans have not proposed any ideals to fix it.
These individuals are exploiting this tragic event that happened in Ferguson, Missouri. And when you look at the fact that you have Democrats who are running away from Obama's failed policies, especially his energy policy, that's going to preferentially harm black families with higher unemployment and lower average incomes, that's the conversation they should be having. Obama's failed policies, because when you inject Ferguson, it's about race. They're trying to inject race into this when, in fact, we don't even know all of the facts. The jury has not come out.
Okay, Richard, we're almost out of time. I want to ask you a very crisp question. Are you worried that stoking racial resentment might be a bad idea in the long run?
Well, listen, I don't think that this ad stokes racial resentment. I think what this ad says is that no, it does not. And I think what this ad says is that no matter what party you are, Democrat or Republican, working families don't fit neatly into one party.
It's very dangerous to play the race card, Richard, and you know that.
Figure out how we uplift people from poverty, and that's what this election is about.
It's ridiculous.
We're out of time. Thanks both for joining us this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tucker.
Thank you, Tucker.